we do have a number of issues factored into our focus today as we focus on the state of the nation. Annkio Briggs joins us this morning. She's a public affairs analyst and of course, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, it has been, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks. And I mean, lots of things are happening. You know, remembering the comments coming through from, if I remember properly, Minister of Trade and Commerce, Olusegun Aganga, when he says, look, the year before the elections, you always have this challenge with the financial sector in terms of the budgeting process. But now, ordinarily, they should have been debating the budget and it should have gone through. Now we've got this directive from the APC telling the members, you know what to do as we've told you. So the budget, and then you have political matters coming up in Rivers, then you have some other states, and you just ask yourself, boy, what a year this is going to be. But let's start off with the National Assembly. What do you see going on with this budget?
Well, first of all, the APC has, as we know by now, constituted itself against an opposition. Now, opposition in itself is not a bad thing. It's a natural course of events and ought to be. But Nigerians have come to the realization by the reactions that we're seeing that this opposition is a very selfish opposition of a group of people that have constituted themselves into a cabal. And this cabal is now, it has stepped out, I think, to attack Nigerians because the issue of the advice for their members to not even debate, for instance, the issue of the service chiefs, which borders on very, very critical security implications for Nigeria as a country. This is an orchestrated and well-planned out strategy for 2014. We've been through, we've come through from the elections of 2011 to the emergence of Boko Haram as something to attack or constantly attack this present government that is headed by Goodluck Jonathan. Now, their idea is that they have already threatened that if Jonathan comes up in 2015, that the country will burn. So this is an orchestration of staging how the country will burn.
Did they actually say that?
Oh yes, oh yes. I mean, if I'm allowed to mention, is that not what Ribadu had said, and so many other statements?
No.
Okay.
Maybe you're trying to say Rufai.
Sorry, about the Rufai. Now, if we look at the area where the issue of service chiefs, for the first time in Nigeria, a president has obeyed the constitution by actually presenting the list of service chiefs to the National Assembly to screen them, which has never happened before, even though the constitution allows for it. No other president has done it, but he has done it. And now they want to use their so-called numbers to throw Nigeria into total disarray. That's one aspect of it. And then the aspect of presenting the budget. This is the first time in Nigeria that a president has been frustrated 2 or 3 times by the National Assembly by giving him an appointment that he should come and present the budget. And has wriggled out of it, it culminating into the Minister of Finance having to go and present the budget. These are all things that are orchestrated to embarrass and make the office of the president and the president himself look ineffective. But all of these things is working against Nigerians. It's working against the people of Nigeria, and really has nothing to do with Rivers State.
I actually thought, we'll come back to that. I actually thought Nigerians are concerned. That is why they're making comments. Let's go back to what Mr. Rufai said, because he tried to clarify issues after his invitation, and he said if you look at it from the beginning and you look at what is happening, he now said if we don't do what we're supposed to do, it will culminate into bloodshed. It wasn't as if he went out to say, well, the nation will be plunged into any kind of chaos. That was what he tried to explain. And we're asking rather, don't you think that comments from politicians, from different sector of the country towards governance and the election of 2015 should be well guarded and well thought out before we say them.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I am also aware that when certain statements are made, it also make other people to make certain statements. But we should not lose sight of certain facts and realities that are on ground, which is to say that if we step back a little bit and we look at the resistance that emerged immediately, the late president became ill and it was obvious that he may not survive. We had the issues of opposition to Jonathan coming up, and this is what has led us to where we are today. If in truth Nigerians who have constituted themselves into political leaders on the platform of opposition, and today we have APC, if they restrict themselves to the issues, to the facts that are on ground, let us restrict ourselves to whether this government is doing well from when it was elected in 2011. Let us appraise them on those bases and leave personalities out of it, leave the First Lady out of it, leave her weight matter out of it, leave insults out of it, and come into the reality of the position.
What's the reality?
Those realities will be to assess Jonathan on the basis of what he has done from the time he was elected, not what he can or cannot do of something that has existed for over 50 years. You know, so we need to support any government that is on board, that is there to govern Nigeria, not necessarily whether we like where the person is from or whether we do not like the person. We are supposed to encourage ourselves to move this country forward and not insist the way the opposition seems to have insisted that it is their way or no other way. And that is what has brought us to this point. This is a well-orchestrated, planned out activity.
But you live in River State.
Of course I live in River State.
The crux of this whole instruction to the National Assembly members of the APC is because of the happenings in River State.
Which really, from my point of view, being a Rivers daughter, being that I live and work in River State, is ludicrous, it's laughable. Because I have a chronology of what has happened in River State going back. Is not today matter. We know the issues of political thuggery and using the police and the system to oppress opposition in River State, which has started since which started really in earnest for us in River State and in Niger Delta since Obasanjo came on board. Now, when we look back, when I particularly look back, because I have first-hand experience and personal experience of having been at the receiving end of this type of government. Now, in River State, from 2000 onwards, everybody in Nigeria was aware of what we endured, the violence that we endured from the time of those government to when the armed agitation came on board, and how the police and the JTF were used against the people in River State. Almost everybody ran away from River State. Only a few of us stayed behind. Even politicians ran away from River State. And this very government that is in River State today was part of that system. For instance, the governor of River State was then the speaker of the State House of Assembly. Now, Mbu has also stated very clearly what transpired between himself and the governor in terms of when he came to resume office. And I have been in River State, and I have seen many commissioners of police come and go. And I know, and everybody in River State who wants to be honest knows, that we felt very, very oppressed by the police, and we were very oppressed
in recent times.
Of course, in recent times. This, believe me when I tell you that Mbu's tenure right now, since Mbu came into River State, this is the first time a section of the River State, and basically ordinary people in River State, are beginning to have a sense of freedom and actually their rights being...
Why is that? How come?
It is because the government, not just only this present Rivers State government, I might add, every government has used the system to oppress people in their states. But in the Niger Delta, it is rougher. And I believe and know that in Rivers State, it is rougher. So for the APC to use Rivers State as a reason to fight Nigerians now, because look, this thing is going to work against Nigerians. It's not going to work against Jonathan. It's not really going to work against Rivers people. What really do they think is going on in Rivers State? Kano is on fire between political for political issues. Why is the police commissioner there not called to go? Borno and all the other states where Boko Haram is operating, why are the commissioners not called to go? Here in Ogun State, why are they not? These are APC. Uyo Mbu was there. Nothing happened there. So Nigerians should sit down and ask themselves. They are just listening to one side of the story. People own Rivers State. It's not only the government or the people that are in government of Rivers State that own Rivers State.
Maybe